Well, it's announcement day apparently for Nvidia's new 3080 Ti and 3070 Ti. And for those of us who are not into mining but are into gaming and other stuff, this may actually be an interesting release.
You are watching the Old Man Badly YouTube channel.
So how's everybody doing today? It's May 31st, although I get there earlier than you do, but that's okay. And today is a day that, according to all indications, that Nvidia is, oh, that's a bright page. Nvidia is supposed to be announcing doing the product announcement for its RTX 3080 Ti and 3070 Ti, with the 3080 Ti going on sale soon. First week of June, and the 3070 coming up apparently a week after that. Product reviews should start coming out in about 2 days for the 3080 and about 10 days for the 3070. But that said, as you can see on the screen, some people already gotten their hands on some of them. Now, for those of us who are not into mining, for those of us who are into gaming, video editing and whatnot, the 3080 Ti and 3070 Ti, along with the existing 3060 LHR, are significant cards because they are low hash rate cards. And what that means for a low hash rate card, it means that they've come up with a way to specifically make it so the cards mine Ethereum at half the normal speed. So they did some testing. This is from a website called Tech Power Up. And they did some testing. It includes a discussion of the 3060 Lite hash rate card doing about 21 mega hashes, 119, which is about half off what it should be. And the 3080, they did some calculations, and it was tested to deliver 58 mega hashes at 199 watts. Power consumption is important when you're calculating out whether the cards are really useful for mining or not. The 3060 does the 21 mega hashes at 119 watts. Now, first of all, it's interesting that people have managed to get their hands on these cards ahead of time, but it's not surprising, and I will tell you why. The 3080 Ti, the RTX 3080 Ti, was supposed to be originally released. Let me go back and look here. The original announcement was supposed to be in the middle of May, and it was supposed to release a few days later, and it's been pushed all the way to the end of May. Now, for some people, that will be just a question of, oh, they're short of parts, right? They can't produce blah, 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 blah. The more hopeful people out here will be telling you that there's some hope that they've used the extra 2 weeks to actually build up some stock and some inventory, and that Nvidia has sort of saved up their resources and piled them all together to make a major launch where they're going to go after a big chunk of the consumer GPU market all in one go, knowing that there's this much demand and this much supply. If they can put that much supply out there even for a week or two, they're going to have a major success on their hands. But before we can get there, of course, we have to know whether these things mine. Will it mine? So I went to a site called Etherscan randomly. I typed, Ethereum mining calculator into Google, and this was the first site. And I put up a couple of test samples. So I put in, to be generous, 25 mega hashes and 125 watts, very slightly above what the what they say the 3060 will do, but in range, in that same range. And using the current numbers and the current price of Ethereum and all that. And you can see the calculations, and the calculations are scary if you're a miner. The cards still make money mining. You can still make some income mining, but The daily income is less than $1. The monthly income is less than $30. On a video card, a 3060 like this is probably going to initially retail in the $600 range because of how, maybe $700, because of how messed up things are, maybe even more than that. They're just not going to be a good investment for miners because there will be no return on them. At $30 a month, it would take 2 years plus to recoup the card. And that's with Ethereum still at a fairly high rate. 2367 price for Ethereum right now is still fairly high compared to what it's historically been. It's nowhere near its 4,000 odd peak, but it is quite high. Then after that, we can also look at the numbers for the 3080ti LHR, aka low hash rate. So 58 mega hashes, 199 watts. Everything else is basically the same. Price changed very slightly because of timing. This card has a little bit more hope. To be honest with you, if you're a borderline miner, you might want to do it, but it's still only $75 a month. If the card comes on market as expected and hits the retail side somewhere in the range of $1,100 to $1,500, you're talking, again, something in a range of about 20 months to recoup the cost of the card alone. That's not going to be a very good calculation. If you're planning to mine and that's your situation, this card probably isn't profitable enough. The other thing that will dissuade miners, at least in my mind, is that the cards themselves, when you look at this, $75 a month income number, the cards themselves, they're having to overpay on them. At some point, everybody knows, okay, this is not a secret, okay? Everybody knows the price of GPUs will go down over time. The current situation is stupid. The pricing is insane, and everybody knows it. So if you buy a card today for mining at the insane price, you have to at least hope to make enough income in 3, 4, 5, 6 months, which is the maximum you're probably going to be able to do this, to cover what the card is going to drop down to in the resale market. Like I said, a 3080 Ti will probably be low end 1,100, my guess. High end is going to be about 1,500, maybe more than that in the marketplace right now. And realistically, used, it'll be half that. 5 or 6 months from now, used, it'll probably be no more than about half of that. So they're having to find $500 or $600 or $700 of income in less than 6 months. It's pretty doubtful. So as far as being a good investment, it's not a very good one. The chance that you, even if all things stay equal in mining, that you'll be able to mine enough to make up for your losses on the card is almost zero at this point. And further, with Ethereum definitely moving towards proof of stake as opposed to proof of work, which will make mining, for Ethereum at least, completely obsolete, the time frame to recoup your money is probably only going to be 5 or 6 months at this point. 1st of June, by 1st of December, I'm guessing Ethereum will be well on its way to proof of stake. They're already testing. They've been testing for a while, and it will happen. So cards like this 3060 RTX 3060 D6 12GB LHR, I found this image on a number of different websites. I should point out this is from the Korean market, I gather, based on all the Korean writing. It's a Galax card. Nice looking card. And that's the low hash rate one. So this one will play well, but it will not hash well. This is the card I believe, most likely to be the longer term winner in the marketplace. However, because we don't have the numbers yet for the 3070 Ti, I said here we have the 3060 and the 3080. The 3070 will land somewhere in the middle. If you get a hash rate of, say, 40 with a comparable power consumption, the 3070 will certainly be a very poor choice for mining as well. So my belief is by the middle of June, there are going to be a lot of RTX 3070ti LHR cards hitting the consumer side, and it will make at least somewhat of a difference, at least until somebody figures out how to bypass the LHR, which you can guarantee the miners will be trying to do. They will find their ways that if you do this and this and this, and you plug in this and you do that, suddenly you get that. You know they're going to try it. But the hope is that in the initial 2 or 3 weeks that these cards are on the market, that the miners won't be that interested in them because there's just not enough money in them. And that perhaps consumers might actually be able to buy a GPU. And hell, I might even be able to finish the system I've been working on since last August. So, like I said, we can cross our fingers and hope like hell that it happens and hope like hell it works out. I mean, last time out, the first time that Nvidia tried to do a 3060 with a low hash rate, they did some major cell phoneage by releasing the driver with it turned off, and they proved that it was entirely firmware based, which is not a good thing. What most people are hoping is that at least some of the low hash rate restriction is created in hardware in a way that cannot be easily bypassed or worked around. That would make these cards much more consumer friendly. Now, you can guarantee the miners will buy them and they will try. But my hope is that between the fact that they're specifically low hash rate and the fact that Nvidia delayed the announcement a couple of weeks, my hope is that there's a fair number of these cards in the marketplace in the coming about 15 days total. I'm guessing will be the entire release of the 3080 Ti first, and then the 3070 Ti low hash rate. If they put a lot of product in the pipeline, if they can literally whip out 100,000 graphics cards, a couple 100,000 graphics cards, they will make a huge market grab, number one. And number two, they'll go a very long way to fulfilling the consumer demand in the market. That's probably about 100,000 cards. My guess would be enough to take about 10 or 15% of the demand out of the market, maybe even a little bit higher. There's lots of duplication. Jay from J2 talked about the idea that he's seen lineups with more than 1 million people in line waiting for cards. And I believe it's true, but I also believe it's the same million people in each line. So it's a little hard to say if there's 1 million, 2 million, or 10 million people looking for GPUs on a serious basis. There's always going to be consumer demand for cards, and we've seen the effects because consumers are now buying pre-built systems more and more because they can't get the parts to build their own. And the pre-built systems generally suck, which is worse. But if a few more of these lovely 3060 LHRs appear in the marketplace, and the 3070 Ti LHRs and the 3080 Ti LHRs, my guess is if there's a big enough volume of cards out there that it will make a significant change and have a significant impact on the market, and may be one of the first bricks to fall towards what I still believe is that by September you will see a lot of used GPUs on the market, and that will start to take care of demand and will lower the retail prices of new cards as well. We can hope, right? Anyway, thanks very much for watching. Let me know your thoughts and comments below, and enjoy the 3080 Ti and 3070 Ti announcement, and hopefully it's everything we want and more.